friends, please ignore the thunder you may hear in the background. We are currently having a fall thunderstorm. But anyway, in today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 easy and tasty gourmet popcorn recipes. We love popcorn in our house. It's a very healthy and delicious snack. 99% of the time we just eat it plain with some salt, but I want to show you how you can jazz up plain popcorn and make it a special event in your house. If you're going to have a movie night, or if you're going to have company over and you want some snacks, or if you're a football fan and you want some tailgate snacks, any of these popcorn recipes would be perfect for those occasions. So come on, let's pop some popcorn. So of the 3 popcorn recipes I'm going to share with you today, I'm going to make 1 savory and 2 sweet. But for all 3 recipes, you start out the same exact way. You have to pop some popcorn. And I'm just going to show you how I do mine. You can do it your favorite method. You can even use microwave popcorn. But you want to start off with 1 cup. For all 3 recipes, you're going to need 1 cup of unpopped popcorn, which will make this pan pretty full. So I'm going to put my burner on high, and I'm going to use grapeseed oil, but you can use whatever kind of high heat oil that you want to use. You can even use coconut oil or avocado oil or olive oil, but I have grapeseed oil, so that's what I'm going to use. I don't really measure the oil, I just pour it in till it looks right. It probably turns out to be about 1/4 of a cup, I would imagine. So I just pour it till, oh, you can't tell, but I just pour it in there till, like I said, it looks right. I've done this so many times that I don't measure. So we're going to go ahead and get that. And then you're going to throw in 1 or 2 popcorn kernels. Put on the lid and wait for those to pop. As soon as those pop, then you pour in your 1 cup of unpopped kernels. So 1 kernel has popped, so I'm going to go ahead and dump the rest of the kernels in. I'm going to use my handy dandy hot pads, and I'm going to give it a nice shake and kind of a stir it so that all the kernels get coated with oil. Then I'm going to just kind of leave it and let it do its thing. When this thing starts popping vigorously, I will bring you back. Once it starts to pop and you can't really see the kernels anymore, then you're going to want to give this pan a shake just to kind of get all the kernels back down to the bottom next to the heat element. I found that if you shake it really good 2 or 3 times throughout the entire process, you get a whole lot more popcorn and a lot less unpopped kernels. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on high speed so you can see popcorn popping quick. So this is how much popcorn I got out of that 1 cup of kernels. Big old Tupperware bowl full. Now the next ingredient you're going to need, I forgot to tell you, I think, that the name of this particular kind of popcorn is chocolate coconut popcorn. And the recipe called for 1 cup of sweetened shredded coconut toasted. I didn't have any. So what I did is, the only coconut I had was this. And it is unsweetened. It's already toasted, but it's in big flakes like this. So what I did is I put it in my little handy dandy coffee grinder, and I ground it up into a more fine, flakes, and I added 2 teaspoons of sugar and mixed that in. So now I have my sweetened toasted coconut. For the topping, the chocolate part of the topping, you're going to need a double boiler or some way to melt chocolate safely. So I've got some hot water going in my double boiler. I'm going to add about 3/4 of a cup of chocolate chips to the top of the double boiler, as well as about a teaspoon of coconut oil. That will help the chocolate pour easier. Because once this is all melted, you're going to drizzle this over the popcorn. So I'm going to go ahead, and this should not take long at all to melt this chocolate. So on my table I have parchment paper spread out, and I put a generous amount of parchment paper because there's a lot of popcorn here. And you're going to want to dump your popcorn out of the bowl onto the parchment and spread it around. You don't want to get it too close to the edge because you don't want to get chocolate on your surface. Then you take your chocolate sauce and drizzle it evenly all over your popcorn. Before I add the coconut and a little bit of salt, I'm going to kind of toss this a little bit with my spatula. We want the chocolate to be coated well, or the popcorn to be coated well with the chocolate. If I had gloves on, I'd just do this with my hands. So you could also do that as well. Just get some rubber gloves on and toss this with your hands to coat it. So you kind of spread it back out, and you sprinkle it with the coconut. And once I get all three of these popcorns done, I will have my kids do a taste test of all three. I'm sure they won't argue with me about that. Okay. And then about a half a teaspoon of salt is what the recipe calls for. I'm going to go ahead and measure that. And then of course you can add salt to taste if you like it a little saltier or a little less salty. Okay, we're going to let this cool while we move on to popcorn number 2. For the second kind of popcorn that we're making today, it's called Marshmallow Peanut. Now it actually says that you need to use 15 cups of popped popcorn, which 1 cup of kernels makes a little bit too much. So probably about 3/4 of a cup of unpopped kernels. But in this bowl I have 15 cups of popped corn, thereabouts. And to that you're going to add 1 cup of peanuts, salted peanuts. Pretty much this whole jar, so I might as well just, I'll leave that last handful behind. 1 cup of broken up pretzel sticks. Now, I didn't have any pretzel sticks, and the store that I went to didn't have any. All they had were pretzel twists. So Olivia put 1 cup in a baggie and broke it up into pieces. So you're going to go ahead and add your pretzel pieces. Now you could add more pretzels to this if you want to, which I think I would like to have a little more pretzels in this, but we'll see. I'll keep the bag handy in case. And then you're going to add 2 cups of miniature marshmallows. All right. So then you kind of just give this a nice toss with clean hands. Make sure everything is incorporated. And I'm making a mess as usual. I think I do want a few more pretzels in mine, so I think I'm going to have Olivia crunch up another cup of pretzels. So while she's doing that, I'm going to make the sauce that goes on top. So I'll take you over to the stove. To the saucepan, you're going to add 2/3 a cup of sugar, just plain sugar. And I use organic sugar, so it's not pure white, it's more of a caramel color. So 2/3 a cup sugar. And I use the avocado oil plant-based butter for Olivia and I, who are dairy-free. And 1/4 of a cup of light corn syrup. And you do the same trick with this as you do with anything sticky. I sprayed it with a little bit of cooking spray so that it pretty much slides right out. So then you want to bring this to a boil, and you want to cook and stir it for 2 minutes. So I'm not going to bore you with that. I will bring you back when this is all ready to go to be poured onto the popcorn. But like I said, you just stir it till it starts to boil, and then you boil it for 2 minutes. Looks like after 2 minutes of boiling on the stove, I'm going to let it cool just a smidgen before I pour it onto the popcorn. And it probably will melt the marshmallows just a little bit, but that'll be okay. Alright, it's come down off the boil, so now you just carefully, because this is very hot, drizzle this over your popcorn. I'm going to drizzle it in batches and then stir. This is when you really need to use your hands, but the sauce is really hot, so even though you're tempted to use your hands, don't, because you will really burn yourself. Once it's cooled down a little bit, then you can put on some rubber gloves, kitchen gloves, and really mix it if you think you need to. I think it's mixing pretty good just with the spatula, so there's a little bit more sauce left. So this is like a fancy caramel corn, really. And the problem with a lot of caramel corn recipes is that they want you to bake it in the oven once you coat the popcorn. And I just steer away from doing that because it just seems like a lot of extra mess that I don't feel like dealing with. So this is going to be a nice alternative to that. Okay, so there you have it. Once this is cooled completely, you can enjoy this nice ooey gooey, sweet and salty popcorn treat. So now on to popcorn number 3. Alright, for the third and final gourmet popcorn recipe, this is going to be a savory popcorn recipe. And as always, you're going to start off with a big old bowl of popcorn. This is 1 cup of kernels popped. And then you're going to make the topping. What you're going to use to make it, this is a dairy-free version. And this was, I found this on the internet, and it was considered a vegan recipe. So I didn't make any substitutions. This is just how the recipe was written. So you're going to need a 1/2 cup of nutritional yeast. I've got this kind, which I don't know if I have quite enough, and then I have this as well. Nutritional yeast, besides it being a superfood and being full of vitamin B, it lends the taste of cheese to things that otherwise do not have cheese in them. So if you ever run across an item that is cheese flavored, like a cracker or anything like that, a snack food, and it's dairy free, more likely than not they flavored it with nutritional yeast. So you're going to need a 1/2 cup all my half a cup measure, all of my half cup measures are dirty from all this popcorn making I've been doing. So I've got 1/4 of a cup here, and I'm just going to get 2 1/4 cups. And almost exactly half a cup, but not quite. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. Of course, it has that silly lid. Olivia can get it. So Olivia, you open that up and go ahead and finish filling that to the 1/4 cup line. So then to the nutritional yeast, you're going to add 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of cumin, ground cumin, here's the other 1/4 of a cup of nutritional yeast, 2 teaspoons of paprika, and 2 teaspoons of chili powder. Now you can also add a little pinch of cayenne pepper if you want to, but I decided not to do that for this. And then you're going to add salt to taste. I'm going to go ahead and start off with a teaspoon of salt. A little more than a teaspoon. So you would think that this is fine enough, but you're going to mix this together and then add it to a coffee grinder or a spice mill and grind it into a fine powder. There's enough here that I'm going to have to probably do this in 2 batches because my grinder's not that big. So that's the fine powder you want when it's all done. And it doesn't look that much different, but it is finer. So then you go ahead and sprinkle this. I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle this on the popcorn, and then I'll grind up the other half of the spices and do the same. Now, if you wanted to, you could have buttered this popcorn ahead of time, but this makes it a little less calorie dense if you don't add the butter. So while I'm grinding up the other half of this, I'm going to have Olivia start mixing this together with the popcorn. So here are my taste testers. They each have 1 kind of each popcorn. So you guys, I want you to taste the chocolate coconut one first, which is the first one that we made. Pretty rough. And give me your honest opinion what you think. I don't think Travis is a huge fan of coconut, but I don't think he minds it too much. No, what's the no mean?
I don't really taste the coconut.
You don't taste the coconut?
Mm.
I do.
Olivia does?
It's tasty.
Okay. Now, taste the second one, which is the Marshmallow Peanut. It's the one that's gooey in the middle. What do you think, Chad?
Yeah, that's not bad.
Do you like peanuts? You don't mind peanuts, do you?
No.
Okay.
It tastes a lot like that stuff that I made.
Oh, the marshmallow popcorn that you make? Yeah. All right. Now then the third one is the savory one, and Travis should be an expert on this because he loves Doritos, and this is supposed to taste like Doritos. So let me, you guys go ahead and taste those. I don't know, it might need a little more salt because I don't go heavy on the salt with things.
It's supposed to taste like nacho cheese Doritos?
Mm-hmm.
Vaguely, yeah.
It tastes more like tacos.
It tastes like tacos, well, yeah.
Sorta.
It's good though.
It's good though. Okay, so now for the bonus question, and you may taste them all again if you need to. Which is your favorite?
Probably the savory stuff, because when it comes to popcorn, I like it being more savory.
Okay.
Not that these are bad, but I prefer the
You
savory
prefer the
flavor.
savory, yeah. And in your opinion, does it taste like Doritos?
A bit.
A bit?
It's there.
Maybe if you ate like more of it, it might taste more like Doritos.
Yeah.
Okay. Olivia, which one's your favorite?
I honestly kind of like them all the same.
You have to pick one.
I really like that one, but since it tastes so much like the stuff I've had before,
Yeah.
I'll probably have to say that one.
The chocolate coconut or the
Yeah, the Dorito.
oh, that's the Dorito?
Yeah.
The Dorito. Oh, so Olivia, she liked all three, but since I forced her to choose, she chose the Dorito one. Travis, because he prefers his popcorn savory, he went with the savory one. Would you guys be sad if I ever made these again?
No.
Or would you be glad? You'd be glad. All right. Thank you guys for being my taste testers and my guinea pigs. Now, of course, I'm going to be tasting it too.
These taste kind of like those Fritos that are twisty. Those
Oh, the
nacho
chili cheese.
Chili cheese nacho.
Or the chili,
Things.
whatever they are. Yeah, the Fritos that are twisty that don't have dairy in them. We
I
could
kind
eat
of
those.
taste those.
Yeah, that would make sense. So after further analysis and tasting all three flavors more than once, we won't say how many times, Olivia has some final thoughts on these three popcorns. Okay, Olivia, talk about the Marshmallow Peanut.
It's really, really tasty, but it's so sweet that you probably wouldn't be able to eat very much. So it wouldn't be great for snacking, like watching a movie or something.
Okay, the chocolate coconut.
It's really good, but I think it needs a little bit more salt. And it's also very, very messy.
Okay, so your fingers get messy when you eat it. And then the Dorito.
I think it's the best for snacking because it's savory, so it's easier to eat a lot of it.
So that'd be the best that would be movie friendly.
Yeah, and it's very addicting.
And it's very addicting. I tasted all three, and I like all three of them very much. And I think if I were to choose my favorite, because I love sweet things, would be the Marshmallow Peanut. So there you have it, friends. My three gourmet popcorn recipes. We'll be enjoying these snacks for many days to come, but knowing my family, I don't think they'll last that long. I hope you give these recipes a try. As always, I will have the ingredients and the directions in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching, friends, and we will talk to you later. Bye-bye.